Let us start already.
Say you should keep quiet.
Is a program where we bring you tips on how you can improve or augment the actions in your life that can help you lead a healthy lifestyle. You know what they say, health is wealth, and a healthy man is a wealthy man. As soon as I get back from a break. Hypertension is a disease that has given so much worry to the health sector of the world. The WHO Health Organization have said that one of their global targets in curbing this non-communicable disease, how can we reduce hypertension? You know, it is a medical condition that not only amplifies the condition or the weak condition of your heart, it can also affect your brain, your kidney, and other parts of the body. Hello, welcome back. This is Best Update TV, your number one online news update channel, and this is Healthy Living, showing live from our studio. Today on Healthy Living, we've been talking about a topic that is very significant: sudden death in Nigeria alone. What is hypertension?
Okay, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Hypertension, like the name goes, hyper is an elevated blood pressure. Usually in this part of the country or the world where we find ourselves, we see going to the hospital as a taboo.
Yes.
They see going to the hospital as a taboo, so they don't go to the hospital, which medical checkup, frequent medical checkup should be done by everybody, old and young. Some people say, I'm too young to be having blood.
It means that there is no age limit
No.
to having hypertension.
No.
Well, that's very good. And I heard you mention that is a silent killer. I was going to ask you if this disease, some people say there are symptoms surrounding
Having is that your blood pressure is
high.
And then you continue going to the chemist, getting over-the-counter drugs to treat it. Meanwhile, you should have just gone to the hospital, have your checkup, and they'll be able to diagnose what the problem is at that time. Exactly what the problem is. Thank you. So going to the hospital,
I can go to the hospital and they say, okay, it's 120/70 or 120/60 or whatever the nurse or the doctor says to me at that point. So I'm asking, can you throw more light? Let our viewers know. By the way, our viewers, you can send in your comments. Is an
the pulse of the heart is high. The pressure of the blood is high on the arteries. That's the systolic blood pressure, which on a normal day should be less than 140 degrees.
Less than 140.
Sorry, less than 140 millimeters. Systolic over the diastolic. That's where you get somebody telling you, my BP is 120/70. The systolic is 120. The diastolic is 70. And then for the systolic, it shouldn't be, for a normal person, for a non-hypertensive person, it shouldn't be more than 140. Okay. Concerning risk factors, we have modifiable risk factors and non-modifiable risk factors. For the modifiable risk factors are your lifestyle, living a sedentary lifestyle like eating anyhow, taking alcohol, use of to render that life is no longer the way it used to be. The arteries the blood vessels are weakened, and it can also predispose you to having hypertension.
In our world today, there is a high increase of this disease taken care of. So the lifestyle is vast. You know, some of us have large families that we take care of. Do you think that these things have a way of increasing the risk of hypertension, stress?
Yes, it can. And no, it's, you say I'll come to the, say, am I sick? I'm not sick, I can't come to the hospital. But it's actually a wrong idea. Up to, at least, you can say I'll go to the hospital every 3 months or every 6 months just to get a general checkup.
Body
You mustn't,
checkup.
yes, you mustn't be sick. Just to know your blood pressure. Once you start getting to the age of 20, like I said something about going to a teaching hospital.
Yes.
Going to a teaching hospital is a place where everybody has their job description. Once you get to the hospital, you tell them, I want to see a doctor. And what the person will ask you, what's your...
Or if you don't even have symptoms at all, you are expected to go to the nearest teaching hospital and check yourself. Now, so let's look at the comment section. You know, some people have been talking. Mr. Nwafo Gabriel said, good one. Thank you so much, Mr. Nwafo Gabriel.
down and makes you vulnerable to other diseases.
Well, there you have it, Mr. Moye Stanley. Thank you so much. Keep the feedback coming. Somebody else said, nice. This is awesome. Thank you so much. We see it. Engineer Miracle Elom says, thumbs up. Thank you. We promise to keep getting fat. Control your weight. Does weight have anything, the weight of a human body, does it have anything to do with the risk of occurrence of this disease?
Yes, it does. Being overweight or obese is one of the risk factors. Lots of fruits and vegetables. Reducing your salt intake, the salt we use, you try to reduce it to the barest minimum, no matter how, even if you like salt. And avoid putting raw salt. Some people will be like, there's no salt in the food, and
Thank you for staying with us, ma. You know, before we left, I told you that we had a comment of somebody, Perpetual Amarachi. We saw it, and she said, please, ma, does obesity have anything to do with question? Our nurse in the house said yes, obesity has a lot to do with fatness and weight. Thank you very much, Nurse Hope. Also, we have Emerald Chimnon So Jane. We see your comments. She's saying very impressive, Joy. Thank you so much. All right, thank you very much, ma. Before we left, I said when we come back, we will be talking on how hypertension can be controlled. We have seen how deadly hypertension can be. We have seen the causes, the risk factors.
Will I say, take your drugs regularly. You don't just stop these medications and say, maybe on a particular day your blood pressure is within normal range, and then you be like, I'm okay, I don't want to take this medication again. You don't do that. You have to take your drugs regularly. You have to check your blood pressure.
what are the complications that can arise?
A lot of disease complications can arise from being hypertensive and not controlling it well. One is that your kidneys can fail. You can have a heart attack.
Disease that cannot be prevented. I mean, there are things that we should do to prevent it. If I do not want to have this disease, hypertension, what are the things I can do to prevent it?
Okay. Prevention of hypertension. 6% of people don't know that they are hypertensive. So if you don't check it, you won't know. So going for regular medical checkup is also another way to prevent it.
Is there a risk of having hypertension as a pregnant woman? And
Yes.
how can a pregnant woman... Okay, so lastly, before I ask you my last question for the day, is there a particular gender that has a higher risk of having hypertension? Is there a particular gender? And can hypertension also...
In kidney issues where you see hypertension in children.
Wow. So it means that once in a while, a parent should take his or her child for a test or a checkup.
It's very important. The family having a medical checkup.
There could be low blood pressure. Am I right?
Yes.
Is there a way that in the bid to make sure I don't have high blood pressure, I eventually end up having low blood pressure? Is it possible? No?
No.
Okay.
You just control your blood pressure to be.
If you want to know more about hypertension, join us same time next week. This is Healthy Living, and I've had an amazing nurse in the house, Nurse Hope Ibinovia. Thank you so much for coming. I don't know if you have something you want to tell the audience, because this is Healthy.
You never can tell what you're having.
Wow. Okay, just as we were about to go, a question just popped up on the laptop. Somebody said the biggest fear of people is that the moment you're diagnosed with hypertension, you're sentenced to a life of
Drugs. Yes, the person will be placed on drugs. You get that. Over time, when you come, because most of these drugs, there are complications that they are going to explain to you that, oh, this is going to arise. When it arises, just come back, we'll change it, or we'll do some modification on those drugs. So it's not a life sentence on.
Very much. It's been Healthy Living on Best Update TV with Chima Joy and our amazing guest, Nurse Hope Ibinovia. And we promise to give you lots of health updates on this program every week. So stay tuned with Healthy Living